Hey guys, what is up? It is Lake here coming at you with another video. Now today we got some video at the server rack, but I'm not going to be really showing you much on the actual server rack, as much as I will be telling you some, this is going to be kind of an FAQ video, facts and questions, I don't know, something like that. So yeah, a lot of people ask me a lot of questions, regarding the servers, because they think, well, if a 16-year-old can do all this, obviously I can, because most people, I'm not judging anyone, obviously, most people that watch my videos are probably older, at least on the server side. Obviously I do other videos than just servers. I actually haven't done a server video in a long time, and I plan on uploading an Apache virtual host video. I don't know, I'll fire up one of these servers. Maybe I'll create another Apache virtual host or Ubuntu server virtual host on this top one, something like that. I do plan on upgrading the hard drive at some point on this if I have time. I have a terabyte or 2 terabyte drives, and I'll put that up here, so that I can use that on my. This is my main machine up here. This is my secondary machine. I haven't turned this one on forever. Barely ever runs. But the top one, this one, does run all the time, 24/7. And that gets us into my first set of questions that I get asked a lot. With new people with servers, such as they pick up a 2850, more likely not so much a 2850, but like a 2950. Now, when I got this for like 30 bucks on eBay, so honestly, that's why I bought it. And then maybe a G4, G5, probably more commonly a G5. I have 2 kind of awkward, weird servers. Hopefully I will be getting, maybe I'll get some more servers, I don't know, we'll see what money permits. But yeah, so one question I get a lot is it a fire hazard to have your server on 24/7? Now, obviously I can't answer this, like 100%, but not really. Honestly, I've had this running probably, I turn it off every once in a while. Like if I go on vacation, I'll turn it off. For like a really long time, vacation, I'll turn it off. Stuff like that. But I leave this on 24/7. It's probably got at least 60, 70 days of uptime. And the server, honestly, is not even warm on the back. If I put my hand behind the fan, it would be blowing cool air besides the power supply, but power supply heats up, obviously. So no, fire hazard is not a risk. Also, I get asked about running home servers, like game servers, that type of stuff. Like, does that open up threats to my connection? Obviously, it's going to open up some threat, but it's not really any more threat than you had before. That's why I always suggest running a firewall, such as pfSense, which is running on this. And I have only one machine here that runs my whole network. It does my web serving for my various websites. If you have a website that you want hosted, I'll host it for you, probably for free. 2, I got my firewall. I got game server, and sometimes I'll screw around with a Windows 2008 R2 domain server, I think it is. I haven't screwed around with that for a long time, but it's kind of like a system kind of server. But yeah, so not a fire hazard. Does not really open up any more risk as long as you got a firewall. Another question I get asked is, what's the difference between this white switch up here and this TP-Link switch? Now this TP-Link, technically they're capable of transferring the same internet speeds. They have 50 megs down, 10 up, or something like that. And this switch can transfer that 50 megs 10 down, or 50 megs down, 10 up. This switch can do the 50 megs down, 10 up. But the real thing is the transfer speeds. Now, different Ethernet cables, such as this blue cable, is only capable of 10 megabytes per second transfer speed, while these are obviously 100 or a gig. And this switch is capable of a gigabit of. So say you had a file server, you can transfer files at gigabit speeds as long as it's hardwired. where this only does 10 megabytes transfer. Also, I forgot to mention one last question I get asked a lot is the power side of things. How much does this thing cost in power? And this server uses very little power, very little power. So does the Switch compared to this one. This one doesn't even have a fan in it. This one does. Eventually I'll hook some stuff up to this. I'll run a patch cable and then hook some stuff up. But this together uses, I can show you. I also have a surge protector, but hopefully we'll be getting a different method battery backup. But I'm using 1.13 amps with the Dell R200 and the Switch running. Over 430 hours I've been running this for, till the last time I unplugged it, which was not that long ago. Or it was, 430 hours. It's a pretty good time, I guess. A week or 2 weeks, maybe. No, it's more than 2 weeks. About 430 hours, and we're only at 55 kilowatt hours, which is roughly about $5 for like almost 3 weeks or so. So that's not too bad for my area. Obviously, it depends on the power costs for your place, where you live, and all that. And also, some good things to have is a separate circuit for your servers. I have a 20 amp. So yeah, that's just some facts and there are some questions people ask me a lot. And yeah, that's basically all you guys ask. So if you have any more questions, let me know down below. Please rate, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in my next video, guys. Peace out.